My name is Michael and I'll have the great pleasure to show you around my little home place today. So first of all, let me know where you're from and what location. Maybe it's good evening, good afternoon, or even good morning as well. But yeah, we have Sunday morning here. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. We kind of in early autumn already. So stunning weather, as you can see in the background, but I'll show you more in a minute. So just a quick overview on what we're doing today. So we have a stroll around. Good afternoon, Karen. Good afternoon. Good to see you again. Yeah. So we have a look around Mapua Wharf. I live close by. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Natalie. Good day. Good day. Yeah, great. Um, and it's all about food, wine, arts, crafts, history, cycle trail. So there's lots to talk about. And yeah, and I also will talk a little bit about New Zealand in general. Hello, Mike. Hello, Mike. How are you? Whereabouts are you from, Mike? So yeah, we talk about all sorts of things, but yeah, the idea really is to showcase this beautiful little place, and yeah, and tell you a little bit more about it. My background just hello, Julie. Hello, Julie. Good afternoon. From the UK. It must be late with you now. About 9 o'clock, I think. Anyway, so yeah, my little background is this. I came from Germany originally, about 40 years ago with my trusted bicycle, and I finished here. I live nearby. Hello, thanks, Mike from the UK. Yeah, good. And yeah, I love the place, and I'm really so privileged to show you around and tell you a little bit more about it. I love good craft farmer. Yeah, farmer market, St. Louis. Yeah, great, great. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, yeah, good. So let me focus now. So basically, I'll just start the tour now. I'll switch around, and I've got my trusted little glasses on. One thing I want to say is, any questions, just really put them into the chat box. The tour will be about in chat. Oh, hello from Germany. The tour will be around about 50 minutes or an hour. Netherlands, hello Natalie. Liturgy, hello, hello. Will be 50 minutes, an hour or so. And yeah, we'll see how we go. But yeah, shoot your questions through and I'll love to tell you more. So I'll switch the camera around. Hello from Israel, Dolly, Israel, beautiful place. Been there many, many years ago. So, right, okay, let's switch it over. Right, now, okay, we're just looking right into the sun here. So as you can see, if you look at the map, a Google map, we're located right in the top part of the South Island of New Zealand. So it's a place near Nelson. Nelson is one of the big cities here with 50,000 people living in the Nelson city. And here outside, we call it the Tasman district. And we got another 50,000 people here. So Mapua village has about 3,000 people. So very small in international standards, but I guess that's the charm of the whole thing. And yeah, before we go into the wharf area, so we got the wharf is slightly separate from the village, but I want to show you this sign here. It's a sign. It's the famous Mapua window. Hopefully you can see it, but the local school actually designed that many years ago. But Mapua is actually the place, it's a Maori word for place of abundance. And that just gives you an idea, and that's mainly what we want to talk about today. It's an abundance of beautiful food, of arts, of wine, beer. It's really, really diverse here. And I would call it a kind of a lifestyle region. We have beautiful weather. You can almost kind of compare it to a little bit of a Mediterranean climate. We hardly have any winters. In the winter we have blue sky, it's a bit crisp in the morning, but in general we don't have snow. The further south you go in New Zealand, I'm not sure if you've been here before, but the further south you go in New Zealand, the colder it gets. And down south it's winter season in about 2 or 3 months. Winter usually in New Zealand is between June and August. So now we have a really sweet spot in respect of weather. March, April, February, they're really, really good months to travel to New Zealand. So let's talk about the Mapua Wharf here a little bit more. So we got here the first restaurant. We've got about 3 of them here in the Mapua. Look at that. I mean, isn't that gorgeous? Sitting outside, I often come here with my wife. It's called the apple shed, by the way. Apple shed. Come here with my wife for a cup of coffee in the afternoon, a cake, or even sometimes a dinner. But I don't want to go too further here. But we've got a bit of, by the way, we've got a bit of a internet connection here and there. So I know the spots here which are a little bit weak, so I won't go there. But apple shed. So the word apple shed, what does that actually mean? So the Mapua Wharf originally was actually a really important harbour, and it was apples were exported. Yes, apples and other fruits like pears, and that was in between 1914 and 1964. And we will actually go to a little museum later on in this tour today, and to show you some kind of what's happened here, how important that was. But here's some first indications, some old pictures. Look at these guys. So this area, the Tasman area, was really important in respect of food growing. So like apples and fruit and vegetable, and still is. But these guys, they used to come here with their trucks. You can see the trucks here, and they were queuing up for actually get the apples sorted, ready for going on the boats, on the ship, to actually, go all over New Zealand and Australia. So here we are. There's a little chart with some key information, and it says 1948 there were 550,000 cases of apples exported from here. So these are the cases. So it gives you kind of an idea how important that was. But the key reason was that for the wharf to be built was that the roads were so shocking in those days. The roads were really muddy, and so they had to have the best possible way basically was to ship them out by boat. So that's a kind of a little story here to begin with. So that's the core reason why the Mapua Wharf is really here. So here we have a look through. I won't go into that kind of mall way, but this is the main kind of path through Mapua. And in these days, all these former apple sheds, they have been converted into shops, into restaurants, into wine places, and also fish and chips. So you got on the left-hand side, which is really cool, we got the Remu Bar. You can see it there. So Remu Bar, there's also the little logo. These guys have a wide selection of beautiful wines. So you may be aware that New Zealand has about 10 different key wine regions, and the Tasman region is one of them. But it's very small scale, very boutiquey. So wine on the left side, and look at here, we swing around now, and here we have fish and chips on the right hand side. So what is actually done here, just go a little bit in the shadow so you don't see the sun full blur. But what is happening really is that people pick up their fish and chips here, and they pick up their wine on the other side, and they're just sitting down here and having a beautiful lunch or afternoon coffee or dinner or whatever. So this is how inclusive this Mapua Wharf area is. And we will actually finishing up on the other side, but just give you an idea first. I don't want to go through here. It's a little bit with the internet connection a little bit weak. So let's move on. And so food, wine. The other thing which is really important here is tourism. So tourism is one of the key drivers in New Zealand. Um, this is a smaller area. You might have heard about Queenstown or Milford Sound and all these really famous places. But to be honest, the real New Zealand, the real experiences you actually have in these smaller places like here at the Mapua Wharf. So it's a really kind of almost like a hidden secret. Many people pass by, many people that just going too fast. And in my day job, I used to be tour guide for German companies, but I'm a travel agent now. So basically, I help people with their travel itineraries. So, and I also do the live streaming. I have a YouTube channel, and so I'm really into the tourism scene. So here we have an interesting shop. This is called Kiwi Journeys. So we got a really important part of the tourism industry is cycling. Actually, I worked here as a driver during COVID. There was nothing to do because the borders were closed. So I worked as a driver here. And I know the scene very well. So I want to show you a little bit more about how it works with cycle trail and how important it has become. So there's a little map first. I want to get there around the corner here, sneaking around the corner. So here's a map of, they call it the Great Taste Trail. So we are located right here, Mapua Wharf. So we're here. So this is Nelson here. So Nelson is as I mentioned before, it's our big city, 50,000 people living here. And what most people do, they actually cycle. The cycle trail goes all the way here. It's about 200 kilometers. So some people do the whole loop in about 3 to 4 days. Other people just do a day trip. So the day trip from Nelson goes from Nelson along here and then over there and then Rabbit Island. I'll show you later on in the tour. And then they go here on that little ferry. And we'll see the ferry crossing over to Rabbit Island. So, and then they get a transfer back to Nelson. This is a really popular trip. And what has become really popular too are e-bikes. You'll probably be aware, I mean, it's around the world. We've got really flashy e-bikes, mountain bikes, but we've got also really standard kind of e-bikes. Cost-wise, you're looking about, the flash ones, 170, 130, 120 New Zealand dollars. So New Zealand dollars is about 62 cents US or about half in UK currency. So, and some people still, like myself, I'm still enjoy the standard bikes, but because of the e-bikes, people getting out and be able to cycle. Here's also a beautiful another picture, part of the cycle trail. Which was actually established after the global financial crisis in 2010, 2011. So very, very important part. So again, reminder, if you have any questions, then get them through. I've got my glasses on, so I can actually see the questions, believe it or not. So now here, we got a little cool store gallery. So guess what? This used to be a storage area for the apples. So you can see this huge sliding door, that blue one. So I can't go inside because my reception will just break down. So I'll stay here. But you can imagine, I mean, you see the big rollers there. So they rolled that up and basically the apples were stored inside and for the next ship to go out. So in these days now, what they've been using it for is art galleries, shopping places, even part of the a coffee place on the other side. So what we'll do, we kind of go around the whole complex. It's not big at all, but there's so much to see and so many beautiful little places, ice cream places and cafes and so on, and artists. Another big thing is really arts. In this region, we have a lot of pottery, we have metalworks, we have woodworks, we have painters, It's really, really interesting. So here's another one. That's my wife's favorite shop. it's a kind of a homeware kitchen for our grandchildren, clothing and everything. You know, it's really, really cool, and it's quality stuff. It's quality. It's called Delicious. Look at that, Delicious. It's called. So yeah. Now let's move on. Hopefully you don't get. We've got a little bit of wind coming up here. I just want to cross the road here and show you one of the local artists. Her name is Augustine, and I just want to showcase what has been done here on a very, very small scale. We've got a little market here, very small. It's the Sunday market, Sunday Mapua market, and yeah, it's very common in New Zealand. We've got a much larger one over in Nelson, which is on a Saturday. I do also a Saturday tour. But yeah, isn't it interesting? The minute I want to go to this place, other people just went in to Augustine's place, but I don't want to take any business away. But while we're here, I just showcase this part. So these are local artists. They do, in this instance, she's doing jewelry with local stones. She probably can explain that much better than I can do, but let's just wait until maybe the people have passed through. Here's another one. It's a lampshade place. You might be able to see that. Look at that, lampshade. So yeah, okay. Let's move on here. Yeah, I can't go in there while these people are there because I don't want to take any business away. The minute they go out, I'll pop in there. There's the artist, Augustine. Oh, now we're going in. Now we're going in. Just let's sneak in quickly before other people are coming in. I don't want to take any business away. Good morning, Augustine.
Good morning.
Can I just sneak in? And I've got people from around the world, from Israel, from UK, from the US. So yeah, Augustine, tell us a little bit more. Just a minute, I'll have another microphone. I'll give you another microphone.
Hi there.
Just hold it in your hand. So yeah, tell us a bit more, Augustine, about what you do, about your art.
Not a problem. So I utilize our local beach pebbles. So just down the road, a couple of kilometers, we've got a long stretch of beach that is all natural stones. So basically I bring them in, I find beautiful pairs in the stones, and I turn them into jewelry. So it's totally unique for this area.
So what kind of stones are that? Is that a certain, I have no idea, but you know, is that a schist or is
No,
that
they're
more
called greywacke.
Greywacke, yeah, I heard that before. Look at these beautiful pieces. So it's all locally produced?
It is literally produced in this building.
Wow, so, yeah, in this building, look at that, wow. Yeah, and that's what, you know, the Nelson Testament is so famous for, really, is all the local arts and crafts, and it's, you know, often you come to a place and you find something, but it's produced somewhere else.
Yes.
How frustrating is that?
No, literally it's produced right here.
So do you have a website or something like that?
I do indeed. Earth and Sea Jewellery.
Earth and Sea Jewelry.
Yep.
I'll put it in the description box after this live streaming so you can check it out.
Not a
hey,
problem at all.
thank you very much for showing us around.
My pleasure.
Okay.
I'm so pleased to have shared it.
Yeah, okay. Thanks very
Thanks,
much,
guys.
Augustine. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Have to be always slow here, otherwise around the corners with the camera. Catch you later.
Bye.
So yeah, that's the first option really. Small scale local businesses. They often actually also go into the marketplace in Nelson. As I mentioned before, I do a Nelson market tour on a Saturday, and it's fascinating to talk to the local artists, and they're so proud about their products, and they're really heart and soul of the community here. And when we talk about community, we especially in these smaller places in New Zealand. Look, there's a little stand here. There's also a bit of art. Let's have a quick look what's happening here. Look at that. There's some more jewelry here, isn't it? Hello.
European, yes. Spanish and Italian. And,
Spanish and Italian.
yeah. And
So we're doing a little live streaming tour here with people from around the world, just showcasing Mapua. So isn't that beautiful?
Yes, well, the market's fun. It needs a few more stalls than which you had before, but it's getting there.
Yeah. It's a bit small scale. Are you going to the Nelson market as well, or no? Not in the Nelson market. Rightio. Though hopefully, you know, it will grow a little bit more.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Catch you later. Cheers. Bye. So yeah, it is kind of, you know, it's kind of hard for these smaller places. I mean, as I mentioned before, markets are throughout New Zealand, and there are either food market or art market or a combination of things, but there's a lot of them around. But you know, especially in these smaller villages. I mean, Mapua has 3,000 people living here, and as I mentioned before, the tourism numbers are not that huge. You know, it's the same here as a little coffee place. What is he doing? Yeah, it's a kitchen, kind of pasties and pies and things like that. So yeah, and here I want to mention the fire brigade, our local fire brigade, Mapua. So important. They're not only attending to the fires, but they're also always called out to these horrific car accidents. So as you can see, talking about cars, there's one coming, even a Tesla, very popular e-cars now. But we got the English system, of course. We all drive here on the left-hand side. So sometimes that's a little bit, you know, people have to get adjusted to it. But look, you know, it's in a few hours. It's very easy to do for travelers here. Most travelers in New Zealand, they would actually go on self-drive. New Zealand is really a self-drive paradise. You can stop and go, and the distances are not too far. And yeah, so that's from my experience as a travel agent. So here we go. That's on the other side. Hello.
Hi, are you a blogger?
Yeah, just doing a live stream at the moment.
Oh,
Yeah,
come here.
Willow Bank. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks very much.
It's only open 7 times a year.
7 times a year. Have a look. Look, I just got that little pamphlet from that lady. Willow Bank. Yeah, okay. I'll have a look at it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So here we are. Yeah. That's what I always get. You know, people are so friendly and you know, most of them in New Zealand, and they're very, you know, people talk to each other. Anyway, so here we have a beautiful place, one of my favorites, and I just seen actually my wife going in there, so she loves that place too. It's called Forest Fusion. It's a really cool art place with kind of huge outdoor sculptures, but also smaller things. So let's go in and have a look. Here's a beautiful piece of art resembling a Nikau palm, which is the only palm we have here in New Zealand. So let's pop in there. I can't do all the parts because it's, again, the internet is a little bit weary, but look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that incredible? So here she is. My wife is there. Yeah, tell us a little bit more, darling. So I just, before I bring my wife in, I introduce my wife to you as well. But look at that. I mean, these are very quirky pieces. Some of them actually, look at that. That's an old sheep shearing equipment. So they would have done that by hand. So basically just huge amount of work. But here's my wife. She can tell you a little bit more. Just that's my wife, Pamela.
Hello.
Yeah, we got people from Israel, from UK, from Germany, Netherlands, and the US. So tell us a bit more, honey. Look at that.
Well, yeah, look, I love these sculptures here because they are built to move in the wind, and they actually catch the light as they go around. They're absolutely beautiful. And these here, I mean, I think they're just
So
lovely.
tell us a little bit more. I mean, they look quite interesting in respect. I mean, are they spoons and forks, and
Well,
what are
not
they?
these ones, not these ones. These are from a refined metal. These are, yeah, oh yes, you're quite right. They are spoons. Oh, I need to wear my glasses.
Look at that.
Yeah, these are knives to make it look like a dragonfly. Big dragonfly here.
So that's what I look at that. Look at that. That's what I call creativity, isn't it?
Yeah, this is forks.
Just before I continue, I've got another microphone for my wife here. I just hold it like that, and then people can actually hear you.
Yes. Well, they're actually made of utensils that you would use in the kitchen, in the dining room, spoons, forks.
Hold it not too far. Hold it there.
Okay.
Okay, now move over there.
And these here are lilies, crafted in steel, and they make a lovely feature.
So let's have another look at these things here. I mean, are they saws and what have they used there? Look at that. There's a little. What's that?
Well, they look to me like garden pliers, or the sort of pliers you'd use in a garage.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically a.
Yeah, it's all made out of products that we'd use either in the garage or the kitchen.
Let's move on a little
Yep,
bit further.
yep.
Isn't that cool? So, and again, you know, the beauty with all of this is it's all locally produced. And I tell you what, a lot of people, look at that fork up there. Look at that. I mean, you know, some people would say these are kind of, you know, old things we don't need, but they actually pick it up and they make something really interesting out of it. So now let's talk about, here we go. Let's swing around. We got here the wind. So what's happening? Tell us a bit more what's happening here.
This is actually garden art. It's garden art, and it catches the wind and it moves. It actually moves beautifully. I don't know whether I can make it move for you now, but yeah, it's.
Oh, yeah, here we go. So people would put that in the garden, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely. Look at that. That's also interesting. That's an old a globe.
Yeah, it doesn't move though. Oh, it does move. Yeah. It
Yeah.
does move.
Now, I think, you know, a lot of people would be interested in the jewelry stuff. You see, as I mentioned before, they're not only having the big kind of pieces, but they're also, what's that, stainless steel?
Yes, they're actually all made of stainless steel, these ones here, and they're all locally made by artisans in the area.
Yeah, Lynn, it is beautiful. You did right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so gorgeous, and the variety of local produced art is just amazing. So what's that? That's kind of,
You would have that hanging outside to catch the wind.
yeah.
Sometimes it actually keeps the birds away if that's a problem,
Oh,
but we like our birds. So
yeah, we
don't
love
want to keep
birds.
them
We
away.
talk about birds in a minute, actually, when we go out. I'm really a bird lover, so we'll talk about those. Okay, let's have a final kind of swing, another area where
Take
earrings.
Take a close up
Oh,
of these.
look
Aren't
at
they
those.
gorgeous?
Look at those.
But look at these pendants. Aren't they just beautiful? And they're also reasonably priced.
So
as
is
well.
that silver, or I mean, I have no.
Yeah, this is silver.
It's silver?
Yeah, but this is not. But these ones are all crafted from
Look
silver
at that.
to resemble shells and.
Okay.
They're
Oh,
so
well, that's
different.
cool.
And if you're colourful,
So they also have a website, obviously, forestfusion.co.nz. .com, she says. .com. So forestfusion.com. I'll put it in the box below once we're finished. I can't go much further here because the internet will time out. So yeah, I mean, look, isn't that gorgeous? A
Lovely
stingray.
stingray.
A stingray.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah. Have a final look, and then we slowly walk out again from forestfusion.com. Here we go. And before we go, actually, there's another part. You can actually do your own art over there, as far as I'm aware. Hello. That's the manager. What's your name again?
My name is Delia.
Delia. Hello, Delia. So tell us a little bit more about this here. Just to hold the microphone. And what are we doing here? What do people do here?
Well, they choose various charms, and they can make necklaces and earrings and bracelets, little wine charms to go around your wine glasses.
Wow.
All sorts of things.
Cool. Well, so, I mean, that's quite interesting because people get involved.
Yeah.
They're not just looking at art, but they're also, you know, experiencing
And
art.
getting creative.
Well, hey, thank you very much for
We love this shop.
showing us around. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. Okay, cool. Thanks. Good evening from Germany. Hello, Peter. Nice to meet you. Yeah. So let's go back into the sun. But I mean, isn't that amazing? You know, these little places. It's really local tourism. Yeah, keep the microphone. No, keep the microphone there.
Okay.
And now we're heading actually part. I mean, you can see there's more shops, but I won't go into the others now. This one is today closed, but most of the shops open about 10 o'clock. That's one of the reasons I really started to at 10 o'clock, because otherwise it doesn't make much sense if they're closed. So here we have, this is now Hamish's ice cream place. I want to mention, I have to mention ice cream and milk products in general. New Zealand obviously is famous for its dairy industry, but honestly, we have one of the best ice creams in the world. And this is obviously one of those spots in the summertime, extremely busy. You get kind of all sorts of ice creams. They also do burgers, and it's quite versatile. My wife, she's already walked in there, so let's have a quick look. Look at that. So we've got all sorts of strawberry, chocolate, yeah, what you would expect, you know.
Yeah, salted caramel, that sounds
Salt
lovely.
and caramel, yeah. Hey, do you guys, we're just doing a live streaming tour on YouTube. Do you do hokey pokey as well?
We used to, but we don't anymore.
Yeah, hokey pokey, I mention it because hokey pokey is,
It's the Kiwi classic.
yeah, it is, it
Do
is.
salted caramel.
Wow. I have to come back for salty caramel.
Please do.
Hey, good guys, thank you, bye. So yeah, I mean, can you send, yeah, I will, I will look at that. So it gives you an idea. It's real fruit and they've got the different flavors. They got deluxe version and mixed berry, raspberry, everything you want. So banana, please. Okay, Natalie wants banana.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
can
okay, okay, we'll do that. So the other thing now is here on the right-hand side. We've got the local cafe, Alberta's. Sunday morning is always packed here because what people do, they come out for breakfast, for brunch. And by the way, the coffee culture, in that time I've been here, when I arrived in the mid-80s, there was no coffee. We had only cups of teas. But over that time, coffee has become the hot brewery actually, because people love their coffee. I love my coffee too, by the way. So if you wanted to support my channel with a cup of coffee, there's a link right below. But also the food has grown enormously in respect of quality, very healthy food. We used to have pies, we still have pies, we still have fish and chips, but there's a lot of healthy food options available, vegan and all sorts of different options for travelers. So that is the beautiful part. So this is a really cool vibe. I mean, it's sometimes a bit hard to bring across, but it's a really lovely vibe. Sunday morning, sunny blue sky. And yeah, so we're looking now down that kind of alleyway where we started the tour. So what we want to do now, we go a little bit to the left now. There's another restaurant over there. We'll come there in a minute. And then I want to show you one of the most amazing views heading towards the Tasman Sea. But one more thing I want to show you. It's closed at the moment, but this is the Golden Beer. It's a local pub kind of thing. They have a microbrewery, and the reason I mentioned that this area, the Tasman region, is a big hop growing area. It's a hop for beer brewing. It's about 85% of our hop is actually exported, mainly to the US actually, 50% to the US. It's worth about 40 to 50 million dollars for the local economy, and we have 17 different hop varieties. I mean, I'm not a beer drinker myself, but I still find it very interesting on those varieties because they're a little bit like wine. They actually have different flavors, and there's a whole story about that. I could do actually another tour about hop growing, and it's actually now harvest time. Now they're starting harvesting, but it all depends on the kind of variety of the hop, what they harvest first. Again, it's a little bit like wine. So let's talk about the Waimea Channel heading out to the Tasman Sea. So it's totally different here in the Southern Hemisphere. We're looking north. So the sun is actually in the north at midday. So this is here a beautiful, beautiful spot. We're looking over to Rabbit Island. And as I mentioned before, we have that little ferry. If you may recall on the map, people start biking in Nelson. It's about 35 kilometers from here. So it's a really, some people do it in 2 hours, some people take 4 to 5 hours, they take their time, but they're finishing up on the other side. You maybe can spot there's a kind of a shelter kind of thing. And they get the local ferry, takes about 6-7 minutes, over to this side of the channel because there's no other way to get across. But Rabbit Island is a local site with a beautiful beach, a safe bathing beach, but also there's a huge forest plantation. Just want to mention briefly in respect of New Zealand's forests. So the first people arrived from the Society Islands about 800 years ago, the Maori population, and 1642 were the Abel Tasman, the Dutch, and then 1769 the English with Captain Cook. But before that, there were just birds in New Zealand, and we'll meet one of them in a minute. But look at this beautiful view. I just want to showcase that at the moment and stop talking really. Okay, yeah. Let's move on and show you a little bit more about the channel, and we then moving towards the wharf, which is kind of the highlight of the tour, so to say. Cool. Anyway, if you have any questions, sing out. And isn't that lovely? I mean, gosh, beautiful. So that's been just created in the last couple of years or so. This is the whole area. It's really for the locals. A lot of locals come here over the weekends from Nelson, from other parts. I mean, as I mentioned, my wife and myself, we often come here for lunch or for coffee or just to hang out because it's such a peaceful and relaxing part. So now this is really cool. Now I want to talk about birds, and I want to zoom in a little bit because I want to introduce you to a local identity, a bird called Hamish. So let's have a look. Can you see it? So this is actually a sculpture. This is a sculpture of I'll just zoom it in a bit more, sculpture of a white heron. In fact, it's actually twice the size. White heron is one of the native New Zealand birds, and this bird was called Hamish by the locals. Hamish came for about 20 years every year from a breeding colony on the west coast of the South Island over here into the Mapua area. Because why? Because it's the place of plenty. There's lots of feed for birds here. So, and then in 2008, I believe it was, in 2008, Hamish stopped coming. Obviously, he vanished. Nobody's seen him again. But the local artists actually done up this sculpture and put it on here into the wharf area. And I find it really, really cool that the locals got so attached to a white heron. And a little story on the side note, you remember the little fish and chip shop? My wife and me, about 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was before COVID, was it? Yeah, I think so. We actually came across another white heron walking around. It was not Hamish, obviously, but it was another white heron. And yeah, it's just beautiful to see this bird. So cool. Any questions, let me know, but we kind of now getting on towards Mapua Wharf. This is the Mapua Wharf, at least part of it. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute, but we're just slowly making our way over here. It's getting busier. I feel it's more and more people coming in. Obviously, it's about 11:15, so from 11 o'clock onwards. Here is another cool side, fishing. We've got beautiful fish in New Zealand, especially here next to Nelson. We have a big port, but a lot of our friends, they're actually going out fishing themselves. They have a boat and you're able to, what it says here, you can catch 2 per day. You know, 2 per fisher per day. So, and it's a minimum size of 33. The blue cod is a beautiful, beautiful fish. And talking about food, we're going now over there to another restaurant, which is extremely popular. It's called Jellyfish. And yeah, I've been to the apple shed.
good.
Yeah, we've been to the apple shed. So this is basically, it's owned actually by the same people, but they have different types of food. So this is more, I think it's more tapas style, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's more casual.
Yeah, it's casual.
Yeah.
If you have, yeah, it's more casual. So as you can imagine, look at it, visualize this. You're sitting out here, having a glass of wine, eating beautiful food, and you're looking out to that kind of scenery. Isn't that amazing? That's what people coming here for, especially on a day like this. And believe it or not, we've got many of these days. As I mentioned before, the climate here in the northern part of the South Island, especially Nelson, Tasman, we're surrounded by hills, by mountains. So this is a really cool, kind of almost like a microclimate. But you see people loving sitting here, jellyfish, and enjoying their day. So yeah, I call that lifestyle, all right. And and here we are. There's no bicycle at the moment, but these are bicycle stands. Often people would arrive from kind of 12, 1 o'clock onwards. They put their bikes here, and then they have something to eat. And as I said before, they get a transfer back to Nelson and have a really, really nice day out. So if you ever come to this area, I would highly recommend to get a bike, get out there, cycle. I've done another video actually on the cycle trail, which you can find on my YouTube channel. So if you want, you can also submit to my YouTube channel. I'm doing videos all the time, every week actually. So I've just released one today, but that gives you kind of an idea. So here we have a little museum. I will go there in a minute. It's one of these special places in New Zealand. You've got a lot of local history, and they're very proud of that. And I just want to pop in there. I'm kind of a little bit of a history buff. So let's have a good look at Mapua Wharf here, because the last time I've done a tour, there were lots of young folk actually jumping off the wharf. This is just, isn't that incredible? Isn't that just amazing? So this is Waimea Channel, its tidal. At the moment, we had low tide. This is going right inland. So in the background, you can see those mountains there. This is the Richmond Range. This is facing towards east. We normally got the weather coming from the other side. So this is towards east. And yeah, it's a tidal river. There's a huge kind of a mudflat area, which is so important for the bird life. They're feeding in there. We have oyster catcher, we have spoonbill birds, we have terns, we have kingfisher. We have a lot of bird life here. And as I mentioned before, birds were really essentially the first inhabitants of this, beautiful place called New Zealand. So here we go. Here she is. My wife is sitting in the sun. Isn't that amazing? There's hardly anybody here really. But it can be quite busy, so don't be... The last time I've done this tour was a little bit of a warmer day, and there were lots of youngsters around, and even older parts. I've done that before. I've jumped down and he enjoyed it. So let's have a quick look going into the little museum and just showcasing you a little bit the local history before we basically make our loop back where we started. And yeah, and then we'll slowly finishing the tour. So let's have a look in there. Again, you know, I love these little places. I can't go in too far because the internet connection is not the best, but you can imagine, here's a bit of a history with the old Marys coming first, and then, you know, the first settlers. But I want to show you a kind of a couple of pictures which are quite stunning when the first English settlement happened here in this area. So there was in 1841, there was an organized settlement by the English, and there were also quite a few Germans coming into the area. But you can see the three first ships, and this is actually on the other side. We kind of on over there. This is the Abel Tasman National Park. They tried to first settle there, but they found quickly out it's not good for boats. But here, thank you very much, Natalie. Yeah, and here, what they've done, they actually, we can see that kind of smoke. That's where we've been before, and that's the Abel Tasman National Park. But so they went right across towards the other side of the Tasman Bay, and this is Nelson. This is where they pitched their first tents in 1841, and yeah, started the settlement of Nelson, and the rest is history. In a matter of 18 months, I think they had about 3,000 people there. So it went really rapidly. So I can't go too much further in there because the internet will peak out. Here's another lovely picture of, you know, the place of plenty. Lots of fishing going on. Lots of, you know, the old, you know, I'm not sure what they are, but yeah, they're certainly fish. Lots of them. And yeah, it's still, you see people fishing here on the wharf. Often when we come, they're, you know, fishermen putting their rod in. It's actually totally, you don't need a license for that. You can do fishing on the sea without license. You need a license if you actually do trout fishing, when you go into, you know, like fly fishing. Okay, so let's swing back slowly and yeah, kind of come to the end of our tour. But I've got a couple of other places I just want to quickly showcase. About food, of course, food and wine and good things. So yeah, so I hope you get the vibe. I do a couple of other tours. I probably will do next week Rabbit Island. That's what we just looked at, which is a totally different scene. And I'm trying to do 2 or 3 more tours into the Abel Tasman actually. But I need to still plan that. I'm still yeah, doing that. So I'll let you know once that's going. But here's a little shop. It's actually, it's called let's go a little bit closer. Let's go a little bit closer. It's called Rabbit Island Coffee Co. So as I mentioned before, coffee is such an important part of New Zealand's culture now. So they're not only having coffee here, but they're also having local products. Just quickly, we got here in the Upper Murtry area. It's a place called Newdorf. As you may imagine, it's actually established, you know, the whole area was established about, you know, 200 years ago by Germans. But we got mushrooms, we got garlic, we got olive oil. So these are all local products. We got, you know, some of the operators that do muesli production. So yeah, there's a lot happening. In my trip going into the Nelson market, there's many more of those people. So just gives you an idea. And these guys actually do coffee roasting here as well. So I don't want to go too far in there because people are busy and they try to make a business. yeah, in the summertime it's fairly busy here, of course, but you know, in the winter time there's much less tourists around. But it's often really a lovely time of the year in winter, you know, because we get these crisp blue skies like today almost, and hardly any wind. So that's the winter season here in the Nelson Tasman region. So there's one thing before we finish the tour, there's one thing I'll still want to show you. It's a kind of a combination of local art and bicycling really, and standing close to, you know, you remember we've been here before, the apple shed, so that's where we started our tour. And yeah, there's a bicycle stand which is actually produced out of bicycles. So as you can see, you know, people, you see the old bicycle that they used again, very creative. They used old parts of bicycles and put a bicycle rack together. How cool is that? So this is kind of New Zealand creativity in a way. So yeah, we'll back to our starting point, looking out to the beautiful Waimea Channel River and having those boats in the foreground. Perfect day today. And yeah, I'll swing back the camera and you want to say bye-bye to our friends?
Bye-bye. Lovely
Yes.
meeting you all. I've
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, good. So yeah, I'll swing around. So hey, thank you very much for joining in again. It was lovely showing you around on this beautiful sunny blue sky day. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please hit the button. If you want to support the channel, please buymeacoffee.com. Been great walking around. Any comments, what you want to see in the future, let me know. But otherwise, have a nice weekend. Bye.